In the quiet of a small-town diner, the kind where the coffee is always hot and the smiles are always genuine, a sudden commotion shattered the peaceful morning. The bell above the door chimed frantically as a young woman, breathless and disheveled, rushed in. Her eyes were wide with panic, and her hands trembled as she clutched a small, worn notebook. The few patrons inside turned to look, their forks pausing mid-air as the woman's desperate gaze swept across the room. "Please, someone help me," she cried out, her voice cracking with urgency. The diner fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the old jukebox in the corner. The woman's eyes locked onto a stranger sitting alone at the counter, a cup of coffee steaming in front of him. He was a man in his late 20s, with kind eyes and a calm demeanor that seemed to anchor the chaotic scene. "I need to find someone," the woman pleaded, her voice trembling as she approached the stranger. "My sister, she's missing. I think she might be in trouble." The man at the counter looked up, his expression shifting from surprise to concern. He nodded slowly, gesturing for her to sit down next to him. "I'm Alex," he said softly, his voice steady and reassuring. "Tell me what happened." The woman took a deep breath, her eyes welling up with tears. "I'm Lily," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "My sister Emma, she's been struggling. She's been trying to come to terms with who she is and our family. They don't understand. They don't accept her." Lily's hands shook as she opened the notebook, revealing pages filled with heartfelt poems and sketches. Emma's been writing about her journey, about feeling like she doesn't belong. "She left this behind, and I found it this morning. I think she might have run away." Alex's eyes scanned the pages, his heart aching with each word he read. He looked up at Lily, his resolve strengthening. "We'll find her," he promised, his voice firm. "But we need to act fast." Just as they were about to leave, the diner's door swung open again, and in walked a figure that made both Alex and Lily freeze in their tracks. It was a woman, her eyes filled with a mix of determination and fear. She looked at Alex, her expression softening with recognition. "Alex," she said, her voice trembling, "I need your help too." Alex's eyes widened in shock as he realized who she was. It was Sarah, his ex-girlfriend, the one he had loved deeply but had to let go because of their differing views on acceptance and love. The diner seemed to hold its breath as the three of them stood there, their lives suddenly intertwined in a way none of them could have predicted. Lily looked from Alex to Sarah, her confusion growing. "Do you two know each other?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex nodded, his mind racing. "Yes, we do," he replied, his voice heavy with emotion. "And it looks like fate has brought us all together for a reason." As they stood there, the weight of their pasts and the urgency of the present moment pressing down on them, they knew they had to put aside their differences and work together. Little did they know, this journey would not only lead them to Emma, but also force them to confront their own hearts and the true meaning of love and acceptance. The diner, once a place of quiet comfort, had become the starting point of a journey that would change their lives forever. As Alex, Lily, and Sarah piled into Alex's old, rusty sedan, the tension in the air was palpable. The car roared to life and they set off, the tires kicking up a cloud of dust as they left the diner parking lot. Lily, sitting in the back, clutched Emma's notebook tightly, her knuckles white with anxiety. Sarah, in the passenger seat, stole glances at Alex, her mind a whirlwind of memories and unspoken words. Alex drove with a focused intensity, his eyes scanning the road ahead as he tried to piece together the clues from Emma's notebook. The poems and sketches hinted at a secret spot, a place where Emma felt safe and accepted. Lily, noticing the silent exchange between Alex and Sarah, leaned forward, her voice cutting through the tense atmosphere. "So, how do you two know each other?" she asked, her curiosity piqued despite the circumstances. Sarah took a deep breath, her eyes never leaving the road ahead. "Alex and I were together for a while," she began, her voice soft, "but we had different views on some things, important things." Alex's grip on the steering wheel tightened, his jaw clenching slightly. "Sarah's family is very conservative," he explained, his voice tinged with a mix of sadness and frustration. "They have certain beliefs about love and identity. It made things complicated." Lily's eyes widened in understanding. "And you, Alex, what do you believe?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex met her gaze in the rearview mirror, his expression resolute. "I believe in love," he said firmly. "In all its forms, I believe everyone deserves to be who they are and love who they love without fear or judgment." Sarah looked down at her hands, her fingers twisting nervously in her lap. "I'm trying to understand, Alex," she said, her voice barely audible. "That's why I'm here. I want to help and I want to learn." Alex nodded, his expression softening slightly. "That's a start, Sarah. That's a good start." As they drove, the landscape changed from the familiar small-town scenery to a dense, secluded forest. The trees grew taller and closer together, their branches intertwining overhead to form a natural cathedral. The car slowed to a halt at the edge of a narrow, overgrown path. Lily looked out the window, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear. "This is it," she said, her voice trembling. "This is the place Emma wrote about." They stepped out of the car, the cool forest air enveloping them. The path ahead was uncertain, much like the journey that lay before them. As they ventured deeper into the woods, each step brought them closer to Emma and to the truths they had been avoiding. Little did they know, their search for Emma would lead them to a hidden community, a sanctuary for those seeking acceptance and love. And in this place, their hearts would be challenged, their beliefs tested, and their lives forever changed. The forest, with its ancient wisdom and quiet strength, would bear witness to their journey from strangers to lovers, their hearts beating as one. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the canopy above filtered the sunlight, casting dappled shadows that danced across their path. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the distant sound of a babbling brook. Lily led the way, her steps guided by the descriptions in Emma's notebook. Alex and Sarah followed closely, their breaths visible in the cool air, each lost in their own thoughts. The path opened up to a clearing, and what they saw took their breath away. Nestled among the trees was a small, vibrant community. Colorful tents and makeshift shelters were scattered around a central fire pit, where a group of people sat, talking and laughing. Lanterns hung from the branches, casting a warm, inviting glow. It was a sanctuary, a hidden world where people could be themselves without fear. Lily's eyes widened in awe. "This is incredible," she whispered, her voice filled with wonder. Alex and Sarah exchanged a glance, both feeling a mix of surprise and admiration. As they approached, the group around the fire pit noticed them. A young person with short, spiky hair and a friendly smile stood up, walking towards them. "Welcome," they said, their voice warm and inviting. "I'm Jamie. Are you looking for someone?" Lily stepped forward, her voice trembling with hope. "Yes, we're looking for Emma. She's my sister. We think she might be here." Jamie's smile widened and they nodded. "Emma is here. She's safe. Come, I'll take you to her." As they followed Jamie through the camp, they saw people from all walks of life, each with their own story of struggle and acceptance. There were couples holding hands, groups sharing meals, and individuals lost in thought, writing or painting. It was a tapestry of love and resilience, a testament to the human spirit. They found Emma sitting by the brook, her feet dangling in the water as she wrote in a small journal. She looked up as they approached, her eyes filling with tears of relief and joy. "Lily," she exclaimed, jumping up to hug her sister tightly, "you found me." Lily held her sister close, her voice choked with emotion. "We were so worried about you, Emma. We just want you to be happy and safe." Emma looked at Alex and Sarah, her expression grateful. "Thank you, both of you, for helping Lily find me." Alex smiled softly. "We're just glad you're safe, Emma. This place, it's amazing." Emma nodded, her eyes shining with pride. It's a place where I can be myself, where everyone can be themselves." As they sat by the brook, Emma shared her journey, her struggles, and her newfound sense of belonging. She talked about the community, about the love and support she found there. Lily, Alex, and Sarah listened, their hearts opening to the stories of acceptance and courage. But as the sun began to set, casting the forest in a golden glow, a sudden commotion disrupted the peaceful scene. Voices raised in anger echoed through the trees, and the sound of footsteps crashing through the underbrush grew louder. The sanctuary was under threat, and the group knew they had to act fast to protect what they had built. The peaceful moment shattered, replaced by a sense of urgency and danger. Their journey was far from over, and the challenges ahead would test their resolve and their love. The forest, once a place of solace, now echoed with the sounds of conflict, a stark reminder of the battles still to be fought for acceptance and love. Their hearts pounded with a mix of fear and determination as they prepared to face whatever lay ahead, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. The journey that began with a desperate plea in a small-town diner was now a fight for something much bigger, a fight for love, acceptance, and the right to be who they truly are. Their hearts pounded with a mix of fear and determination as they prepared to face whatever lay ahead, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. The journey that began with a desperate plea in a small-town diner was now a fight for something much bigger, a fight for love, acceptance, and the right to be who they truly are. As the commotion grew louder, the group sprang into action. Jamie quickly organized the community, their faces etched with determination and a silent strength that came from years of standing up for their rights. Alex, Lily, Sarah, and Emma joined the effort, their hearts pounding with a mix of adrenaline and resolve. The source of the disturbance soon became clear. A group of protesters, armed with signs and slogans of hate, were marching towards the sanctuary. Their voices echoed through the forest, a harsh contrast to the peaceful harmony that had existed just moments before. The community stood their ground, forming a human barrier around their homes, their eyes filled with a quiet defiance. Alex stepped forward, his voice steady and calm as he addressed the protesters. "This is a place of peace and acceptance," he said, his words carrying through the tense air. "We won't let hate disrupt that." The protesters paused, their expressions a mix of surprise and uncertainty. They had expected fear, not resistance. Sarah, standing beside Alex, took a deep breath. She looked at the protesters, her eyes scanning the crowd until they landed on a familiar face. Her parents stood at the front, their expressions stern and unyielding. Sarah's heart ached, but she knew what she had to do. She stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "Mom, Dad," she began, her voice filled with a mix of sadness and resolve. I can't support this, I can't support hate. I've seen the pain it causes, the lives it destroys. I choose love, I choose acceptance. Her parents looked at her, their expressions shifting from shock to disappointment. But Sarah stood her ground, her heart steadfast in her decision. Lily and Emma stood side by side, their hands clasped tightly. Lily looked at the protesters, her voice filled with a quiet strength. My sister deserves to live in a world where she is accepted for who she is, she said, her words echoing through the forest. We all deserve that. Love is love, and it should never be a cause for hate or fear. The protesters, faced with the unwavering resolve of the community, began to falter. Their slogans grew quieter, their signs lowered. The forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the outcome of this standoff. And then something unexpected happened. One by one, the protesters began to put down their signs. They looked at the community, their eyes filled with a new understanding. Some turned and left, their heads bowed in thought. Others stayed, their expressions softening as they listened to the stories of the people before them. The forest, once a battleground, became a place of dialogue and understanding. Among the protesters who stayed was a young man, his eyes filled with a mix of confusion and curiosity. He approached Alex, his voice tentative. I didn't know, he said, his words barely above a whisper. I didn't understand, but I want to learn. Alex smiled softly, his heart filled with hope. That's all we ask, he said, his voice warm and inviting. Just be open to learning, to understanding. That's how we can build a better world together. The young man nodded, his eyes shining with a newfound determination. As the tension eased, the community came together, sharing their stories and their hopes. The forest, once a place of conflict, became a sanctuary once again, a testament to the power of love and understanding. The journey that had begun with a desperate plea in a small-town diner had led them here, to a place of acceptance and unity. But as the night wore on, and the stars twinkled overhead, a new realization dawned on Alex, Lily, Sarah, and Emma. Their journey was not just about finding Emma, it was about finding themselves, about discovering the true meaning of love and acceptance. And in that moment, under the starlit sky, they knew that their hearts beat as one, their love a beacon of hope in a world that often seemed dark and uncertain. Their journey was far from over, but they knew that together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their love, their acceptance, and their unwavering belief in each other would guide them, their hearts beating as one, their spirits united in a bond that transcended time and space. The forest, their sanctuary, would forever be a symbol of their love and their fight for a better, more accepting world. As the first light of dawn broke through the canopy, the community began to stir. The events of the previous night had forged a bond among them, a unity that was almost tangible. Alex, Lily, Sarah, and Emma sat by the brook, the water shimmering with the golden hues of the rising sun. Their faces reflected a mix of exhaustion and contentment, their hearts full of the love and acceptance they had found. Emma turned to Lily, her eyes shining with gratitude. Thank you, Lily, she said softly, for never giving up on me, for fighting for me. Lily smiled, her eyes welling up with tears. Always, Emma, we're in this together, always. Alex looked at Sarah, his expression thoughtful. You stood up to your parents, to everything you knew, he said, his voice filled with admiration. That takes courage, Sarah. Sarah smiled softly, her eyes meeting his. I had to, Alex, I had to choose love I had to choose acceptance. I had to choose you and everything you stand for." Their eyes locked, and in that moment, they knew that their love had transcended the boundaries of their past. It was a love born of understanding, of acceptance, and of a shared journey that had tested and strengthened them. As they sat there, their hands entwined, they knew that their love story was just beginning. But as they prepared to leave the sanctuary, to return to their lives with a newfound purpose, a sudden realization hit them. Their journey had not just been about finding Emma or standing up to hate. It had been about finding themselves, about discovering the true meaning of love and acceptance. And in that journey, they had found something they never expected. They had found love in each other. Lily and Emma, their bond stronger than ever, looked at Alex and Sarah, their hearts filled with joy. "You too," Lily said, her voice soft with emotion. "You found each other again in the most unexpected way." Alex and Sarah looked at each other, their eyes reflecting the love that had blossomed between them. As they left the sanctuary, hand in hand, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had a story to tell, a message to spread, a message of love, of acceptance, of the power of understanding, and they would tell it together, their hearts beating as one. The forest, their sanctuary, would forever be a part of them, a symbol of their love and their fight for a better world. And as they stepped out of the woods into the light of a new day, they knew that their love story was just beginning. But their journey did not end there. They knew that there were others out there, others who needed to hear their story, others who needed to know that they were not alone. And so, they decided to share their journey, to spread their message of love and acceptance. They turned to the camera, their eyes shining with determination and love. "This is our story," Alex said, his voice filled with emotion. "A story of love, of acceptance, of the power of understanding, and we want to share it with you." Lily smiled, her eyes reflecting the joy and hope they had found. "So, if you're watching this, if our story resonates with you, please share it. Spread the message of love and acceptance. Together, we can make a difference." Sarah looked at the camera, her voice steady and sure. "And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Join us on this journey as we continue to fight for love, for acceptance, for a better world." Emma nodded, her eyes shining with hope. "And watch our videos, share your stories, comment down the part of the video that touched you the most. Let's build a community, a sanctuary, where everyone can be themselves, where love is accepted in all its forms." As the camera panned out, the four of them stood there, their hands entwined, their hearts beating as one. Their journey had led them here to this moment, to this message of love and acceptance. And they knew that this was just the beginning, that their love story was far from over. Their hearts pounded with a mix of excitement and determination as they looked towards the future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would spread their message, their love a beacon of hope in a world that often seemed dark and uncertain. Their journey from strangers to lovers, their hearts beating as one, would continue, their love story a testament to the power of acceptance and understanding. And so, with love in their hearts and hope in their eyes, they stepped forward, ready to share their story with the world, ready to make a difference, one heart at a time. Their journey was far from over, but they knew that together, they could face whatever lay ahead, their love a guiding light in the fight for a better, more accepting world.